Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. If you've ever sat back and wondered exactly where we humans fit into the grand, messy biological tree of life, or how scientists actually figure out our specific place in this giant universe of living things, well, this source material maps it all out perfectly. We're going to unpack this whole thing step by step and essentially build ourselves a biological ID card. I want you to do something real quick. Just look at your hands. Seriously, wiggle your fingers around. Feel your heartbeat in your chest. Now ask yourself, what specific biological traits truly separate you from, say, a chimpanzee, a dolphin, or, I don't know, even a blade of grass? It's a pretty profound question, right? And to answer it, we don't just guess. We actually rely on a highly structured system to sort and classify literally every living thing on Earth. So, here's our quick roadmap. We're covering 1. The taxonomic triangle. 2. Broad branches, domain to phylum. 3. The mammal club. 4. Our primate relatives. 5. Meet Homo Sapiens. And 6. Your human taxonomy ID. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The taxonomic triangle.
So, to organize the absolute chaos and diversity of life, scientists use this structural system called taxonomy. And the funnel approach illustrates this perfectly. I mean, think of it exactly like a nested physical address system. When you write a letter to a friend, you don't just write their name on the envelope, right? You zoom in. You start with the country, then you narrow it down to the state, the city, the street, and finally, their specific house number. Well, taxonomy works the exact same way for biology. We start way at the top with the broadest category, which is domain, and that includes billions of drastically different organisms. Then we filter down, level by level, getting more and more specific until we reach a single, unique species. Moving on to Section 2, broad branches from domain to phylum. All right, starting at the absolute macro level, the very top of our funnel is domain Eukarya. Why? Because unlike simple bacteria, your body is made up of complex cells that actually have a true nucleus, like a little VIP central command center protecting your DNA. Next, we take a step down into kingdom Animalia. You belong here simply because you move around, you breathe oxygen, and you have to consume food for energy. You aren't a plant performing photosynthesis or a fungus absorbing nutrients from decay, right? And then we reach phylum Chordata. Actually, do a quick posture check right now. Feel the center of your back. You have a spinal cord and a backbone holding you up. And because of that backbone, you share these early taxonomic steps with a massive variety of animals, from frogs and fish to birds and reptiles. Section 3, the mammal club. We're moving deeper down that funnel now, and we're entering a very exclusive club, class Mammalia. At this level, we leave the fish and the frogs behind. To be in class Mammalia, you gotta meet some strict biological criteria. First up, you are warm-blooded, meaning your body naturally regulates its own internal temperature, whether it's snowing or absolutely sweltering outside. Second, you have hair or fur. Even if it's just that super fine hair on your arms, it's there to help regulate that temperature. Third, with a few weird exceptions, mammals give birth to live young instead of laying eggs. And finally, the trait that literally gives mammals their name, mammary glands. Human mothers, just like all mammals, produce milk to nourish their babies. These traits are totally foundational to who we are. Now, this is where it gets kind of mind-blowing in the real world. If you were out exploring and saw a bat hanging upside down in a cave or a massive whale swimming in the ocean, you might be tempted to call the bat a bird and the whale a fish. But you'd be totally wrong. Even though they look completely different and live in the sky or the ocean, bats and whales give birth to live young, they are warm-blooded, they have hair at some point, and they feed their babies milk. It just proves a massive rule in biology. Habitat and environment alone do not define classification. Internal biology does. Which brings us to Section 4, our primate relatives. Zooming in even closer, let's put on our detective hats and compare some traits. Obviously, things like scales, cold-bloodedness, gills, shells, or hard exoskeletons, yeah, those are completely out. Instead, as humans, we possess grasping hands with nails instead of claws, which is huge for holding tools. We have incredibly flexible shoulder joints. We've got forward-facing eyes that give us that amazing binocular vision and depth perception. And, of course, we have disproportionately large, complex brains. These are distinctly primate traits, and they place us in the exact same order as monkeys and lemurs, Narrowing it down one step further, we enter family Hominidae, commonly known as the great apes. Here, the connections get incredibly tight. Get this, we share an astonishing 98 to 99% of our DNA with chimpanzees, literally up to 99%. Just like our fellow hominids, gorillas, orangutans, and chimps, we naturally have an upright posture, high cognitive and social behaviors that let us thrive in complex communities, and fully opposable thumbs. I mean, that opposable thumb is the whole reason you can easily hold a pencil, type on your phone, or build a skyscraper. It's a real game changer.
Next up, Section 5. Meet Homo Sapiens.
So here we are at the absolute bottom of the funnel. We find our exact genus and species, which is assigned using a two-part naming system called binomial nomenclature. This was introduced centuries ago by a scientist named Carolus Linnaeus, and it basically means every single organism gets a unique two-part scientific name. For us, the genus is Homo, which translates from Latin to man or human. Now, we are the only living members of this genus today, though extinct ancestors like Homo erectus used to share it with us. Our specific species identifier is sapiens, meaning wise, knowing, or modern. When you put those italicized Latin terms together, you get Homo sapiens. It translates beautifully to the wise human. And honestly, that's not just a label, it's a direct nod to our advanced cognitive abilities, our self-awareness, and our capacity for complex problem solving. And finally, Section 6, your Human Taxonomy ID. Okay, let's bring the whole shebang together and complete that taxonomy ID card we set out to build at the start. We've systematically moved from the broadest level of life, shedding millions of other organisms at every single step, all the way down to the sharp, precise point of our unique species.
So, Level 1, we are in domain Eukarya because of our complex cells. Level 2, Kingdom Animalia because we're moving, breathing consumers. Level 3, Phylum Chordata thanks to our backbones. Level 4, Class Mammalia because we're warm-blooded and produce milk. Level 5, Order Primates, giving us our grasping hands and forward-facing eyes. Level 6, Family Hominidae, our great ape relatives, which leaves us right at genus Homo, species Sapiens. This completed list represents your exact biological address in the universe. It proves that you aren't just living on Earth. You are intricately woven into the very fabric of its biology.
So, what does this all mean for us? Well, understanding this hierarchy shows us just how incredibly interconnected all life on Earth truly is. Protecting biodiversity isn't just about saving other animals. It's quite literally about protecting our extended biological family. By tracing our taxonomy, we've basically mapped our past. But looking forward, it leaves us with a pretty provocative question. As our environment shifts and technology integrates more and more with our biology, are we the final stop on this branch? Or what new, unimaginable adaptations might define the next species on the human family tree? Something to think about. Thanks for exploring with me, and I'll see you in the next explainer.